You can't keep getting away with it! He can't keep getting away with it! He won't.
All right. Good afternoon, Who That Nation. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. This is the host CB, and of course, I'm here with the co-host, the MOD Uptown. Uptown, what it do, fam?
Oh man, what's happening, man? It's a great day. It's a good day, regardless of how it went down. It's always a good day when you're on this on the right side of the dirt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad to have you on, man. Who That Nation, welcome. Um, we'll be honest. Oh man, we're gonna get into it, man. But basically, as you guys know how the game went. Came down. We had an opportunity to win, and we was unable to convert. The reasons to why we're gonna get into that, but that's how the game went. We lost 20-13, and I see the OG Jerry in the building. What's up, fellas? What it do, Jerry?
What's up, Jerry?
So basically, what we're gonna do, you guys has been watching the channel. We're gonna start on what side, the side that made headlines. Whether it was the offensive day, defensive day. Obviously today the offensive day, so we're gonna start on that side, and then we're gonna go to the defense / special teams. Or we may throw special teams in whenever at some point, and then we're gonna open up the phone lines, and after that, that's basically gonna be it. So that's how the show gonna go today. So I'm gonna just say my two. I know Uptown got a lot to say. I'm gonna just go ahead and put this out there. Far as the win loss, I told you guys in Uptown pretty much said the same thing. I'm not really. Of course, I want us to win the ball game, but if I see things that gives me hope and shows promise for the future of the ball club, that's all I'm really caring about right now. Because once we get to that point to where we're sustainable, where it's we consistently competing in the NFC, not no 1 year fluke and then back, will we like we was doing during the Sean Payton days and Drew Brees days, then that's when I'm gonna start back really just getting really emotional about it. But as you guys seen today, and I'm gonna just say this, just say my thing about Rattler, then Uptown can have the floor. Spencer Rattler had no part to do with this game negative on the negative side. If anything, man, I was surprised at how he played. Was his pass volume up? Yes, but that was the coach's play calling. Um, he completed a little bit under 60% of his throws. I would rather have that than turnovers. He didn't turn the ball over, so that's a plus. And he definitely showed me that his sky is higher than what he's portraying now. And what he portrayed today, he done enough for the team to win. So Uptown, I'm gonna let you have the floor. I do want to shout out Miss T Mama before you get started. Who that CB in Uptown? How you doing, Miss T Mama?
Mama, hey T Mama. Look, man, the Rattler looked pretty good today, man. He looked pretty good. The good thing about it, man, is that he committed no turnovers. I thought he made good decisions. When it wasn't there, he threw the ball away. I seen a lot of confident throws from him. He getting on his, he reaches after he, reaches his last step on his back foot, the ball coming out. and I was encouraged to see that. I seen a lot of good throws from him today. I thought he was held back. I really think that he was held back today. And, I'm not going to hold that against Kellen Moore because, he's not, he's not really a seasoned veteran quarterback, quote unquote. So, you can't really feed a baby steak yet. You got to give a baby some milk and then they got to progress and stuff into steak and all that stuff. But I think that he was held back today. You notice we took no deep shots except for that one that we had with the penalty and stuff, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I was really surprised by that. I thought that we would threaten them deep more often than what we did. I was encouraged by Spencer decision making. Yeah, really good decision making. Back there. And to be quite honest with you, right, I was really, encouraged by the offense as a whole when it came down to it. They opened up some holes for running lanes. I've seen them do that today. I seen, some tough catches made by the wide receivers and the tight ends and stuff like that. I was encouraged by that, but there's other reasons that we lost the game today. And I don't want nobody, no Saints fan. I don't want to hear you talking about nothing with Rattler. Rattler had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with why we lost the game today. Okay? He had nothing to do with it. He's solid. He did what you would expect, especially of a quarterback as young as he is. But we'll get into all that later. This segment here was just talking about the play of Spencer Rattler.
Right. And I do want to point out, Miss T Mama pointed out that 2-minute drill. Just think of the position of the game. And really a lot of rookie quarterbacks either turn the ball over, make a poor decision, take a sack, fumble the ball, they'll get too under pressure and won't, be able to succeed the moment. Rattler's done everything that you wanted out of a QB to succeed that moment. He ran the 2-minute offense, he ran it perfectly, got down, and we seen how things ended. Minus the Chris Olave last play. I'm not even counting that. Game touchdown supposed to be before that anyway.
Yeah.
But then we talk about these vets and stuff that supposed to be. You would think vets help your young quarterback out.
Yeah.
That don't even make sense. You the vet on the team. You one of the vets. Help your quarterback. You plug it in. Like it's right there in your hands, and you had it.
And I thought he was very poised. I agree with that. And that also validates this game, and maybe I'm gonna, from this small sample size, I'm gonna use it like that. It validates why Kellen Moore made him the starting quarterback. He said that's what he said specifically was that Spencer decision making was outstanding throughout the whole training camp, the OTAs and all that kind of stuff. And I seen that today. I seen a lot of that today, and I'm encouraged by that. Because a lesser quarterback would have went in there and threw a couple of interceptions and fumbled the ball and all kind of errant throws and all that kind of stuff. Would have occurred, for a quarterback, especially a quarterback, in the year that he's in, the experience that he has, in the league and all that. You would expect them to go in there and just stink up the joint, a little bit, especially when we got behind. But he did pretty good. I'm encouraged by that. It also validates Kellen Moore's decision to make him the starting quarterback.
Facts. Now I do want to read some. I do want to read some numbers out offensively. Okay, I'll read Rattlers out too. He went 27-46, 214 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. No interceptions. That's the key point. Um, the Russian AK had 11 attempts for 45 yards. That's 4 yards a clip. Kendre Miller, shout out to Kendre Miller. That boy, we see the flashes. Yeah, he's showing it, and it's turning over into the season. So, hey, could he be our future? In the next year, maybe so. We'll see how things play out, but he looking really good.
He
5
looked good on
attempts.
special teams too, CB.
Say that again.
He looked good on special teams too.
Oh yeah, facts, facts. And he had 5 attempts for 24 yards, 4.8 yards a pop. Shout out to Devin Neal, 6th round draft pick. He got in, got a little work too. 2 attempts for 9 yards, 4.5 yards a clip. At the receiver position. Now I also want to shout out Rattler too. He had 4 attempts for 29 yards. So regardless, he used his feet. Great decision making. Receiver, we had shout out to Brandon Cooks, 3 receptions for 26 yards. Jawan Johnson, 8 receptions for 76 yards. But you just got paid a contract, 3 year, 30 mil. You getting paid for big moments, man. You're getting paid, and that's decent money for a tight end. So yeah, you had these catches, but that catch right there in your hand at the moment. Come on, you got a young quarterback throwing to you, so really that it's all these other numbers out from him.
Yeah, you got to bring that down.
Yeah. AK had 2 receptions for 12 yards. Chris Olave had 7 receptions for 54 yards. Shaheed had 6 receptions for 33 yards. Shout out to Devon Vale, 1 reception for 13 yards. So who else? Who else stood out to you offensively?
Kendre, really, to be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
because it just seemed it's when he get the ball, man, it just seemed like something electric is going to happen. Nah, you know, he's starting to have that kind of effect to me. He's very elusive. He breaks tackles very, very well. You know, um, he can be something special, man. I know we got AK, but we should, let him get a few more carries and stuff too. Here and there, because every time he get the ball, man, it looked like he get 8, 9 yards a whop. Seemed like to me. Every time he get the ball, you look elective and explosive. I mean, electric and explosive, and I was encouraged by that. And we gonna say, and yes, TB, I do agree. You got to catch that ball, but I was encouraged by the play of Juwan Johnson today too. Although he did not make the catch that he should have made. But to have a tight end to show up like that, that can be relied upon by your young quarterback is impressive. You know, I was encouraged by that. Although he should have made that catch in the end zone. I do agree with that. However, um, it seemed like him and Rattler got some type of a connection that they got going on, with that. And that's what was encouraging to me. And I think I say too, right before I turn it over to you, I think I was impressed by the play calling today too. There's not too many plays that Kellen called today that had me scratching my head wondering why the hell he did that, as compared to the way that I have felt the last 4 years.
All right. I got a question. How do you feel about Rattler throwing the ball? He threw the ball 46 times. So he almost threw the ball 50 times. How do you feel about that? You
I
think that
didn't
was
like that, but when the situation of the game preclude that, unfortunately. When we got behind, he had to throw the ball, and that's an unfortunate situation. I thought we should have still go ahead and establish the run. and stuff like that. But even that, is not the reason that I think we really lost this game today. And we're gonna get into that, in a minute. But I was encouraged, and let me tell you, let me say this too, right? Because I don't want people to think that, right? I was encouraged with the way that Alvin Kamara ran the ball today too. By the way, y'all, I was encouraged with that too. But man, just when Kendrick get the ball, man, it's just something, I see something, man, that I don't see. Even with a back as explosive as Alvin Kamara, I still don't see that. And that's why, I think I emphasize him, and the stuff that I was telling you about that we seen in preseason, has carried on into the regular season with him, and I feel encouraged by that. I really do.
Right. I see Miss T Mama. Interesting question. Why didn't they use AK more? Dot dot question mark. I will say, yeah, we usually see more of AK, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. At this stage, and I'm not saying that AK ain't capable of carrying the workload, but we've seen what that can do. That definitely gives the advantage to a defense if you knowing that one guy gonna get the ball 70-80% of the time. So, like you said, Uptown, yeah, I'm pissed off at Juwan, but he did that built some confidence between Rattler and Juwan. So that's an option that Rattler is going to feel more comfortable going to moving forward. Um, and then to have the support of Kendra Miller with those runs, and then Devin Neal even got in. I don't know. I'm not going to conclude because it is game one, but I don't think Kendra Miller definitely is going to see more touches. I mean, just by what he showed on the field today, his production is going to increase. Does that mean less? Less than AK? I don't believe so, but yeah, it was
To
it
answer a
was a
question too, right?
successful.
Let me add on to that too, right? The reason why we didn't see a whole lot of AK today is because that running back room is better now. Some of the carries that we may have piled up on AK in the past, we don't have to do now. We got people like Kendrick Miller, we got Devin Neal. That's one of the reasons, and another reason is that we had gotten behind. And once you get behind, everybody should know that that almost negates the run game, because then you're trying to play catch up, to get back into the game and all that kind of stuff. That's why that stat said that Rattler threw 47 attempts, today. That's
Yeah,
the reason why he had 47 attempts. In the perfect world, we want Rattler at 25 to maybe 30 attempts, a game in a perfect world. But we got behind, and that's what preclude us having to kind of abandon the run, if you will. That's one of the reasons why we didn't use him a lot too today. But
facts. I do want to ask you a question. We're gonna we're gonna touch on the O line performance, but I want to ask you a question about Olave. Now you seen Olave go to the sideline a little bit. So how did you feel about his play today? He made some good catches, but is the
he made
injury something scary? Like is you concerned about? Is this gonna be a problem? Do you entertain that while he still got fresh trade interest? I'm not saying I'm not saying trade him. I'm just saying something just to keep in mind. If this injury thing is going to be an issue, I mean, is that something that you just think of? It's something you definitely think about.
I'm gonna be honest with you, it's concerning, man.
Yes,
Especially,
it is.
it's the first game of the season. In fact, there was several injuries that occurred today that were concerning. You know, um, Taliese Fuaga did not finish the game. I don't know if you paid attention to that. So he's injured too. Then Olave's injured. Then this guy Chase Young injured. You know, it's very, very concerning, when you're taking your look at that stuff, because we don't want to fall into the same thing that happened to us last season. The injuries and stuff piled up, especially the injuries on the offensive line. And we never was able to overcome that. Now, do we have receivers or whatever, that can cover over some of this stuff? I believe we have a pretty decent, wide receiver room, but that is so disappointing because I'm tired of the plug and play, man. We done did a whole lot of plug and play, man, the last 3 or 4 seasons. You see, we don't. It seemed like our guys, all of our guys, are never, available, for one game or this game. And it's the first game of the season, and we still didn't have all hands on deck. Even with the fact, when Fuaga, when he played and stuff today, because he got injured and stuff during the game, we still didn't have all hands on deck because Trevor Penning, he is supposed to be our starting left guard. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't have all hands on deck when it came down to that. So I just don't know, man. It's like that's something that's so frustrating, and you can't really. I don't know what you can do to prevent it. It's not like you can really do anything about that. I mean, it's not 100%. You can do some things, conditioning and all that, right? But in this game is very violent. How do you avoid that kind of stuff? It's a lot of big men, hitting each other and stuff. Every play.
Right.
How do you avoid that? CB? It's just so it's so disappointing, man. It ain't even funny. And now I don't know what the extent they was talking about a knee injury with Fuaga. We gotta pray that that's not serious. Because that would negate everything that we try to do. What we try to do and is get bookend tackles. We drafted him last season. We drafted Kelvin this season. Bookend tackles that can take us into the next 10 to 15 seasons. If this dude started having trouble with his knee, and then this started being something that's ongoing, it would negate everything that we worked hard for. But still in all, right. Chris Olave coming in and out of the lineup, and the injury of Fuaga, I still don't think that that's the reason why we lost this game. And we'll get into that later.
Okay, I see Miss T Mama said you think if Chase Young was playing, the defense would have been better. We're gonna get on that side right in a second. The Cam Jordan. One second, we're gonna get on that side. I do want to
shout out G&T, Mama. We got y'all. We ain't gonna forget that. I'm gonna remember your question.
Groupie got to make those field goals.
Yeah. And what's so disappointing about him is that all throughout preseason, he only missed one field goal, and the one field goal he missed, they said, was in the rain in training camp. And now you get out here and you miss a chip shot field goal.
And that could have changed the dynamics of the game. That would have changed the dynamics of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, but still in all, right? You're going to trip me when I say CB. I still don't think that was the reason why we lost the game.
Oh, I know. I gotta figure what you gonna get into. I'm gonna read this comment, then we can go to the other side of the ball. RG Scott said not to get off subject, but I think it sucks. I'm paying a monthly subscription to the NFL app. It still couldn't. What I'm about to do, fam? I'm about to put a I don't know how many iPhone users you got. I don't know how the Android stuff work if you can download apps, but I'm about to put an app in the link comment. I'm telling you, that's how I watched my game today, and I use that for all sports, basketball, football, basically like any sport you want to watch. It you have about 8 different links that you can use for that one game. So if one stop working, you can go to the next. This ain't no bootleg, and this it's 100% official. So I'm gonna put that in the comment. Um, once I stop talking, um, who said that? RG Scott. RG Scott, try it out, man.
RG said it. Yeah.
RG, try it out on your phone. I'm telling you, it's official. So yeah. Any more thoughts on the offensive side? I mean, the offensive line, Rattler wasn't running for his life, so it
Nope.
wasn't too bad.
Rattler stayed upright. They
Mhm.
opened holes up for running backs. They did that today. I saw it. Y'all
Right.
saw it. We saw it. We all saw it. Okay. That was pretty cool. That really wasn't an issue. Rattler didn't even face a whole lot of pressure in his face all day either. He didn't, you know. So that was encouraging.
Right. Give me 1 second. I gotta get this to my guy
Yeah.
RG Scott.
Yeah. Hook
Okay,
him up, man. Hook him up.
go great sport. Go to your app on your phone. Type this in. I'm telling you, just try it, man. Next show you gonna thank me. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's official, man. I watched the full game today. No itches or no glitches, nothing like that. I'm telling you, it's official. So
All right. All right, RG, real gangster. Get get hit the link, bro. You heard me?
okay, well I guess we can get to the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, we can go ahead and address the guy that stood out. That was the most shocking to me, and it goes back to T Mama. She got an interesting question, but I'm gonna just put this up here while we talk about Cam Jordan. Obviously, Cam Jordan stood out a sack and
Man,
a
what's up with the old dude, huh?
half.
Man, boy, Cam Jordan looked like the old Cam Jordan today. I ain't gonna even lie to you, bro. He got our
Right,
first sack of the season. In
right.
fact, Cam had 2 sacks today.
Yep. Well, they gave him a sack and a half, I guess, because the way that second sack was, him and Granderson was there at the same time. So I just looked at it's a sack and a half, but that's still amazing, man. Like Cam really, he was really the one putting that pressure on Collar like that.
Cam applied pressure all day, man.
Yep.
All day he applied pressure. You know, the old man looked good, bro. But as good as the old man looked, the young man looked terrible. Huh? Oh, yeah. Huh? Mr. Kool-Aid. I'm going to tell y'all something right now, right? This season, Saints Uptown is not looking through LaFleur de Lis colored glasses. Kool-Aid looked it like trash today. Let's get for real now. Let's not BS around. That boy Harrison was taking his lunch money today. Then he got beat by a tight end. I thought you were supposed to be that dude. They wasn't doing nothing to Yadam on the other side. They wasn't doing nothing to Yadam on the other side.
Nothing.
Now,
Who was alongside? Who was
when I
across
was
from
talking
Harrison?
about the reason that we lost, that's part of the reason why we lost.
Who was their number 2 receiver? Arizona. Is it Zay Jones? Because I heard nothing from him today.
No, didn't hear nothing from him. Isaac Yadam was doing okay.
Yeah.
Nobody was beating. Nobody wasn't burning him.
Nope. This was the guy they hyped up in training camp. This was the guy.
It happens to us. How many years does have this happened on CB? How many times have we heard this dude that they hyped up in training camp, and this dude go to in the season and poo-poo, shit the bed? That's why I don't like hearing that stuff. I'm starting to believe that whenever they talk about some dude is dope in training camp, he's gonna be garbage in the regular season. I'm starting to believe that now. You understand? And just FYI, right? Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison don't have the greatest chemistry. They was last in the league last season as far as quarterback and wide receiver, connection. I don't know if y'all know that. You see? He had that dude come out there, and they both been in the league at the same time. And he took your lunch from you, bro. And you supposed to be our number 1 dude, bro. I just was not impressed by him at all today.
To be honest, I thought a lot, even though I know Alante, he was in the slot stuff, I expected Alante, and I wanted Alante to go travel with Harrison.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to see.
I was feeling like, man, look, if that's the case, put Isaac Yadam on him.
Yep.
I mean, he couldn't do no worse than that. I don't know what the hell, man, what's going on with that dude today, man. I'm gonna be quite honest with you, right? Some of the preseason games, some of the play that he had in preseason, I wasn't too impressed with that either.
No, all that hype was coming from training camp practice, but in the preseason, you're right. I didn't see nothing that stood out from him either. Only I was just hearing about Mason Tipton. They talked about him in training camp practice, and he also showed it in the preseason game. I didn't see that with Kool-Aid.
No, he didn't. No, we didn't see that with Kool-Aid. And I'm like, what's up with all the hype and all this, that, and the third? I'm expecting this dude to be a lockdown, shut down corner. And, okay, I'm going to grant it. Harrison was a great college wide receiver. Last season, he was not a great NFL wide receiver. Okay, and I know this year's different, but I'm only basing it off from last year because this was game 1. Okay, that's the only reason why I'm saying that. So I hold him partly responsible for us losing this game today. Because that defensive line looked good. They didn't. In fact, our whole front 7 looked pretty decent today. There was the safety play was nice. I thought that we could have did better against that tight end though. They still allowed him, to cause a little havoc. I thought Trey McBride, he caused a little havoc today that he should have never been causing. And as a matter of fact, to say that we have all these veterans on defense, I hold the defense partly responsible for us losing this game. That touchdown they gave up before the half was ridiculous. At one time and stuff, we had them in that drive. It was 2nd and 23, and we allowed them to convert.
Yeah, Justin Reed. Wasn't that the Justin Reed play?
Justin Reed. I mean, all these dudes, man.
Yeah.
They veteran ass, high veteran ass. Are the reason and stuff. Partly the reason why we lost this game today. And I expect to see better than them, better out of them. And I still seen examples too of them with their poor tackling today too.
Agreed. I do want to go back to this question that T Mama had put up. It's the one about okay, I got it.
Yeah,
This one. You think if Chase Young was playing, the defense would have been better? I'm gonna be honest. Was it Cam standing up as an outside linebacker today?
Yeah, he was.
It was supposed to be Chase Young standing up and Cam being that defensive end. I'm gonna be honest. If Cam is bringing that type of pressure standing up, you gotta leave him right there. Don't mess it up. I mean, if he gonna be eating like this or creating pressure like that, you leave him right there.
It's not gonna.
You gotta figure it out with Chase Young.
It's not gonna happen. There's several reasons why it happened. Well, it's not. Why it's not gonna happen? Like several million reasons why it's not gonna happen. Yeah, he got that bag. Remember that bag he got? Yeah. You understand? I don't think that Chase Young wouldn't have made a difference today, to be quite honest with you. Because I think that even with Chase Young had been there, I thought they'd supplied a efficient enough pressure on the quarter. They sacked that dude 5 times today. Okay? It was poor cornerback play, specifically from one dude. I'm just going to be honest. That's what really cost us. You see? And the inability to make quality tackles, at opportune times. That cost us too today. But you're dreaming. Whenever they think Chase Young is healthy again, Chase Young is going to play. No doubt about it. He's going to play. Now, how good he plays and all that remains to be seen. But when that dude is declared to be healthy, he's going to play for us and he's going to start. Right. I'm telling you that now. So that's what that goes like that with that and how that goes, so and I want him to play. Because we paid you all that money, boy, you better show up and show out. And that goes to another frustration. I don't know, man. We just seem like I don't know what the reason is, bro. These injuries things, we just been snake bitten with injuries, the past 3-4 seasons. I mean, it seemed like it just won't go away. I wouldn't be surprised if they tell us that next week that Chris Olave is not going to play. Awful. And or Taliese Fuaga. I wouldn't be surprised.
How many times we're gonna give Olave a pass? And I'm not saying it's not. I ain't gonna say it's against Olave, but how many times we're gonna bring up hospital balls? How many times
he didn't get no hospital balls today? I don't know. I remember that one time he went out, he caught the ball, his momentum took him forward, and then he left the game. And I couldn't quite see, how he got injured on that play or nothing like that, But, my whole thing is that, these dudes and stuff, man, with these injuries and all that, and I hope that it seemed like we may be a little bit better prepared, but, that's it, and I know we jumping backwards and forwards, but I got to say this too because I forgot to say this when we was on offense, right? Everything that we seen that we was thinking about, maybe a problem with Ruiz showed up today. You understand? It looked like he regressing to me. He was called for 2 penalties and stuff today, and all that kind of stuff. This dude is a seasoned veteran now, and we shouldn't be having that from him. But let me stop piggybacking and stuff. Let me go back to the defense and talk about, as far as the defense is concerned, they played solid and played good, up into the time that they gave up that touchdown right before the half. They played solid. And Kool-Aid, I don't know what's up with him. You need to get back into the film room, bro. Do some more working out or whatever, man, or whatever. Because I know that you cannot be happy with your performance today. You just can't be. Now that's part of the defense, and Kool-Aid McKinstry is part of the reason why we lost that game. But that's not the whole part of the reason that we lost that game. And I would say that after we finish up this segment.
All right. So I'm gonna read some stats. I'm gonna read some stats right quick. Just want to put the numbers out there for the ones that really ain't too familiar what happened today. We got shout out to DeMario and Pete Warner. They led the defensive side with 9 total tackles. Pete Warner had a sack to go with that, and then it follows. Kool-Aid is him and Justin Blackman is next at 7, but Kool-Aid's tackles came after his receiver, which was Mark Harrison, was getting off. So that's how his 7 tackles came in. After that was all because Marvin Harrison was whooping him, and then he just caught up and tackled the guy. But yeah, Justin Blackman 7 tackles. And then we come with Granderson 6 tackles with a sack and a half. Shout out to Granderson. Then we got Isaac Yadom coming in with 4 tackles. Then we got Shepard with 3. I missed Justin Reed, 6 tackles, 3. He played solid. That 1 tackle, man. That was a I ain't gonna say a game. It definitely had a lot to do with that drive. So yeah, that was a huge mistake, missed tackle by him. Isaac Yadom, 4 tackles. Shout out to Alante Taylor. He had 2 tackles. He had his sack today. Key sack in the game. So that'll do it on the defensive side. Shout out to the 4 guys that had sacks. Granderson, Jordan with a sack and a half, and then Alante and Pete had sacks. So shout out to those guys.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me say this, right? Now that we finish that segment up, right? Mr. Kellen Moore, right? I understand that this is your first game as a head coach, not as an assistant coach. Your clock management was awful today. Awful. Downright awful. Did anybody pay attention to the fact that we ended the half with three timeouts? Anybody pay attention to that?
No, I didn't.
We could have called a timeout, right? When they was making that drive that they made right before halftime and conserved some time on the clock. This man left 3 timeouts on the board. This man did not call a timeout in the game until there was 4 minutes left in the game. Did y'all hear that?
That's
the
crazy.
New Orleans Saints' first timeout came when there was 4 minutes left in the game. Now, rewind that. Just thinking we had a little bit more of that time when Spencer was going down there for the last drive of the game. If we had a little bit more of that time, just thinking we had a little bit more of time before halftime where we could have at least gotten position to at least kick a field goal before halftime. Think about that. Another thing too, right? With all these track stars that we got on this football team, 4-4, 4 here, 4-3 here, 4-2 here, 4 everything, CB, right? We got some 4 around this mother, right? Only one deep shot the whole game? That is unacceptable. There's 2 things that what he did today, right? It can reflect in a negative way. Let me tell you what I mean by that, right? For you not to call the timeouts and not put Spencer in a position will make me think that you don't trust in him. That's what it would make me think. You don't want to put the ball in his hands with a minute or something or a few seconds left in the half to go out there and do something because you think he might make a mistake or something. But you said that you selected him because of his great decision making. That's what you said. Sometimes your mouth can say something and your actions can show something else. You know what I mean, CB?
Facts.
See what I'm saying? And like, you know, I'm just gonna do this, right, y'all? And I want everybody to do this, right? Everybody that's listening to me, right? We're gonna go ahead and put this game and let this game be water under the bridge, okay? All right? Until we start seeing a pattern of this type of behavior. Okay? Let's just take and chalk this up to he's a rookie head coach, first game type of experience and stuff like that until this start looking like a pattern of behavior. Okay? Because that was piss poor how he used timeouts and the way the time management went down today. That was awful, CB. Awful. We got 6 timeouts and didn't call the first one until there was 4 minutes left in the game.
That's facts.
See?
Now
we could put ourselves in a position before the half to, if we don't score a touchdown, at least kick a field goal. Because although Blake missed the field goal today, that leg is good at least 60 yards. We know that for a fact. Okay?
Facts.
All right? So put him in position where we can at least get 3 points before the half, which would give us some momentum. And we was getting the ball first in the second half of the game. That's why we lost the game today. Okay? Poor clock management. Okay? And the inability of our defense to make key stops.
Now,
That's
these are the
game today.
Right. Now, what you just said are the things that Kellen has to address himself as a coach. First NFL game head coach, I get it. And like you said, we're gonna take this and put water under the bridge with it. Now, if this behavior continues, it's going to be a huge issue. But this is, yeah, he definitely got to address that. Because I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't even
You didn't even pay
and part
attention.
of that was doing I was driving while I was watching like the first quarter and a half. So I wasn't able to really sit down and look at, is he managing the clock right with timeouts? I didn't really get to peep all that because, like I said at the start, so I didn't even know that he didn't use one timeout in the first half. Now, yeah,
Bro,
that's
man,
crazy.
man, how often, when have you, CB, I know you watched a lot of football before. I know that for a fact about you. When the last time you seen a coach go into the half with all three of his timeouts? How? How is that even possible? I mean, you call a timeout for, hey, I don't like what I see out there, the
Water
formation
break or something.
don't look like, it don't look right. Let's call a timeout behind that, you know? But in particular, when they was driving before the half, he should have called a timeout. Once when those people got into field goal range, call some timeouts, man, because it's inevitable that they're gonna score. Whether they're gonna score a touchdown or whether they're gonna score a field goal, they're gonna score. Preserve some time on the clock for Spencer and the boys. Okay? But to go and not call one, and then your first time out you call was with 4 minutes left in the game, that's unacceptable, man. You know? And that's something he gonna have to take accountability for that. Because what we did, know how we lost the game, bro? We simply ran out of time.
And
We ran out of time.
I could see defensively, and they even mentioned it during the game. I get that, they kind of kept Buddha and his co-defendant back. They was kind of freelancing in the back, in case they try to go deep. It was sometimes Buddha was up at the line, but regardless of all of that, man, you gotta trust your receiver. And I'm not putting that on Spencer. I'm saying Kellen gotta trust his receiver. Hey man, let my young boy throw it up and go get it. You gotta test the waters a few times. Not one deep ball to Shaheed and that's it. Now, yeah, stuff like that. He has to do better. Than we got trap stars out there, so this dink and don't. At some point, teams are gonna catch on to that easily. I mean, we seen that with the last days of Drew Brees. That stuff it's gonna work for a moment if you got a pinpoint QB like Drew, but when it really came down to it, teams can adjust. The good teams gonna really adjust to that. And then
See,
what?
bro,
Yeah,
I don't even want to hear this stuff about Buddha was at the line of scrimmage. You supposed to be a dynamic play caller. A dynamic play caller is going to be able to call plays to get his players to at the advantage, even if that is occurring. You see what I'm saying? You should be able to do that. Get your players and stuff to advantage, even if that is going down like that. You see? And I say, right, I know this man has coached plenty of games. That's why I'm gonna chalk this up and just throw this as water underneath the bridge. Maybe perhaps he had a whole lot of, first game jitters, knowing that, hey, today I'm the man. Okay. Because if you really look at it, right, Arizona defense did absolutely nothing special today. Nothing special. What did they do that was so special? Tell me. They ain't do nothing special today. They ain't really shut down nobody, really. People got shut down because we did that to ourselves. Either the poor play calling. It took him the second half of the game to get Shaheed involved in the game. I don't think Shaheed had one catch until the second half of the game. That is unacceptable. You understand? Then he got the dude Vele involved in the second half of the game. That is unacceptable. You understand? You can't just be like this, that. Kamara, man, we got several. We got it. Kamara ain't just the only good player on this team, on this offense. There's a lot of dynamic players on this offense. You got to scheme up, all that stuff that they say you good at, the stuff that they hired you behind for, that you supposed to be the man for. I mean, you just won the Super Bowl last season and all that, right? Scheme up cats, put them in the best position, like good coaches do, so that they can be successful. But listen up, Who Dat Nation. Let's throw this one and put this one, to the side. That's water underneath the bridge, okay? Until we see a pattern of behavior, then we can make, a better understanding. And y'all know I always say this. Y'all done heard me say this before. You don't know what kind of team you have until they're at least 6 games into the season. And after 6 games into the season, that's who you are, regardless of what you are, okay? Now, you could get the things that you're better at. You can't get better at those throughout the season. And the things that you're worse at, you can get worse at those things too throughout the course of the season. But that is always a good indication on what kind of team you got.
Facts. I want to read a few comments. Snakebite said, I didn't see Kellen Moore's post game, but did anyone? I seen the post game. I don't recall anybody asking him about that. And then Miss T Mama co-sign said next week he is without an excuse uptown. So and then I seen another comment. I believe shout out to Randy Major. I seen him tune in. I seen a comment by him saying that Moore don't trust right. I really don't want to. Get into that kind of debate.
No, we're not gonna put that narrative out there because we don't know that.
Yeah.
You understand? Like that's why I say, y'all, look, let's reserve our judgment of him. Right. Because it's one game. Y'all know one game has never made or broke a season. We could very well win our next 5 or 6 games. Just like we can very well lose our next 5 or 6 games. Okay? We're gonna, like I say, we're gonna take this. There's gonna be water underneath the bridge, right? And we're gonna reserve our judgment until we see that there's a pattern of behavior. Okay? Once there's a pattern of behavior, y'all know how that go. Y'all seen when that last that little funny face looking dude, that we had the last few years. Y'all know what the pattern of behavior looked like. Okay? So we're gonna reserve right until we find out what's going on, if this is a pattern of behavior, or was just something that happened that situationally, because that was the first game of the season.
Right. Okay, so I just put the link in the comment section.
So, all right, y'all, let's get it popping.
You guys go ahead. I see we got 13 listeners in there, man. Somebody call in, man, so we can chop it up about today's game. What you like? Anything?
If y'all got any questions for me and CB, if y'all got any comments, anything that y'all want to say, any observations that you may have made, that y'all guys may have seen, that we didn't see, things of that nature. Let's get it.
Right. Okay, until somebody calls in.
Bro, I don't think. Let me tell you this, right? I don't think I don't think I don't think Kelvin gave up any pressure today. Huh?
No.
Boy,
Fuaga did. Fuaga,
yeah, he
yeah, I
did.
seen that.
Boy, that boy Kelvin looking good, boy.
Yeah.
Did y'all know, man? I seen somebody put out a video, bro. Did you know that Kelvin Banks graded out as the best offensive lineman, period, throughout the preseason? Period. Not just for rookies. Period. You understand? So that boy looked good, man. And they open up some holes and stuff, you know, in the middle and stuff. Maybe, I don't know, bro. Maybe you can learn something, Caesar. And Kelvin didn't have no penalties today. Caesar, the veteran.
The $40 million man. $40 million.
The $40 million man. And you know something, Caesar? Your ass looked bad in the preseason too, bro.
Facts.
So this ain't looking fluky. This not fluky. They talking all that stuff about Trevor. What about your ass? Torricelli, get it together, bro. Torricelli. Pay attention, bro. Your time might come sooner than later. I trust what you do, more than what I trust Caesar and Trevor. And you're a rookie. And I only seen you in the preseason. Stay ready, Torricelli. They're going to give you your opportunity, bro. Either one of them going to get hurt like they normally do, or they just going to play trash and get benched.
That's a good trade candidate now.
You know, yeah, I agree.
It keeps up, man.
I agree. You can get on the chopping block, and then we got Torricelli here, who we ain't got to pay for another 3-4 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to D-Man. He said, "Do y'all bench Kool-Aid after he played today?"
No.
That's too early.
No.
Too early. This the guy they said supposed to be the guy. So we got to get a sampling size. One game ain't. That's not a lot of sample.
That would not be fair. That would not be fair to bench him behind one game. You understand? Every cornerback that I've seen have had at least one bad game, with the exception of Deion Sanders. I'm just keeping it real. No, we don't bench Kool-Aid. No.
Right. And you said, "Do y'all?" So you must not be a Saints fan. Still appreciate you for tuning in, though. Shout out to you.
I don't know, AD man, whoever you are, bro. I know. Could you share who you like? I know y'all like to leave that stuff a secret when you come on stuff like this. You know, we ain't gonna talk bad about your team. I mean, after all, we have no leg to stand on. We 0-1.
Right. Well, I see we don't have any callers on.
I'm surprised ain't nobody calling in. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's give them a few more minutes. You know, we don't want to just down it right now. Let's see what else.
Right.
I wonder where my boy at too. Where's JT?
Yeah, JT, he usually pop up. He might be busy, but yeah, JT, I know he definitely got something for this game. Miss T Mama said, "No, you don't bench him. You gotta let him see what that grace is like." That's a fact.
Yeah. You understand? And maybe that might humble him and stuff too. Because, you know, Kool-Aid, they say Kool-Aid's supposed to be, you know, with all this, you know, he got all this swag and all this confidence. That's what I heard about him. Maybe this game will humble him, you know, and make him see, you know, that, hey, look, you know, maybe I need to take some stuff, you know, more seriously and not be, you know, so full of myself. Because next week, right, who the hell? I don't think them people got any good wide. I know Ayuk is injured. Oh, they got the Ricky Pearsall dude who they drafted last season, and Jennings. Come on, Kool-Aid. I mean, you should be able to at least, be able to check one of them. Now, if you're getting burned by Pearsall and Jennings and all them cats, next week, then yeah, that may be a need for concern.
That's a fact.
Okay, so we ain't got nobody coming in, so we gonna once, twice, 3 times.
It's all good.
It's all good. Maybe we touched on everything, and people don't really have no questions or nothing because we said everything that they wanted to say, which is cool. But we can wrap it up and I guess get into the closings of it all if you'd like to, CB.
Well, you got any final thoughts? Any final thoughts on today?
My final thoughts is I'm not gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay. I was encouraged by their play. I must admit, the team seemed like they responded and like they went out there and they played for Kellen Moore. They did. Right. I've seen them play harder than I've seen them play in a while. Although it didn't produce a W. So that was encouraging to see. I was encouraged by what I saw on the offense. I was very encouraged by Spencer. I was not so much. He didn't have any. His play didn't really blow us away. He didn't even throw any touchdowns today. But his decision making and how poised he looked out there. He didn't look like his head was spinning. And I was impressed by that. Now, is that something that I think he can build? I think he can build on that. And I think that if he continued doing what he's doing, that success will come his way. Just keep steadying the ship, bro. You'll be all right.
Facts. So just want to thank everybody for tuning in. So basically my final thoughts before we wrap it up. Basically, man, shout out to Spencer Rattler, game 1. I know you played a few games last season, but this is really your most important game. I know it's a lot of pressure. You dealing with a second-round draft pick sitting behind you, so you already know that controversy is going on. So you stepped up to the plate. You didn't make yourself the reason why the team even got in the hole or lost the game. You made smart, sound decisions. The play calls that was given to you, you executed them. You wasn't running with a deer looking ahead. Like you didn't have that type of energy going today. You was poised. Love that 2-minute drive from you. Kellen Moore, first game. Obviously, it was some things that you can go back and work on as well. Game 1, first time as a head coach, you gonna get some grace, but that shouldn't be a continuum pattern. Not using no timeouts in the half. Shout out to Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan, I'm hoping you give this. I hope you give us that energy all season long. We know you can stay healthy. If you give us that energy, man, sky can be the limit for the defense if everybody else play. If everybody else shows up, man, that can definitely help us out. And then who else we got? Blake Groupie. I got faith that you're gonna snap back from your feelings. Kool-Aid. They say you that dude. They say you him. So you out here. We didn't see that today, but we got San Fran next week. Hopefully, you can step it up. Because honestly, I wanted Alante to be QB1, but you got those duties. So I'm looking at you to run around with the number 1 and handle your business, catch that wreck. So hopefully we see that next week. What else we got? Everything else looked good. Shout out to Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller did what he had to do today. And that's basically it. Once again, I'm going to reiterate again. Yes, we lost the game, but if you didn't see anything promising, you didn't watch this game today. If you didn't see things especially coming from Spencer Rattler and different pieces on the team that was promising that could be utilized going down, in the future. Then you didn't watch today's game. But you guys be sure to like, subscribe, follow the page. This is the WDN Chatline podcast, and we out. Who that?
Who that, baby? For life.